Hi, folks. I wanted to give you some information about the Native American culture oral report, and I also wanted to go over the instructions with you on this video so that you always have them with you as you're working throughout the week. So this is a week-long assignment. It will be due on Friday, and it will be submitted on Flipgrid. The assignment is worth 20 points, and you're going to be judged off of 4 main criteria, which we'll get into once we get down to the rubric. If you respond on Flipgrid to someone else's story, or not story, but their report, and you leave a substantial comment. So not just, oh, that was nice, or I think that was cool. You have to leave a comment that kind of enhances what they said. So if they're talking about the way a tribe hunts, okay, well, ask a question that's related to, well, what kind of animals did they hunt? What did they use different parts of the animal for, right? So ask a question that is relevant, that's important, okay? If you do that, or if you leave a comment that's really important or really insightful, I will give you 5 additional points. So 25% of this grade as extra credit, but you have to make sure that you are leaving a very thoughtful response, not just, that's cool, that's nice. That's to relate directly to what they speak about in their report. Now, that leads us to, what are we talking about in our report? So our book gave us a good starting point. We want to go a little bit deeper with this assignment, okay? So you're going to make a verbal presentation that's going to be at least 2 minutes, and you're going to be picking a Native American culture of your choice. Please pick, we're going to do the same way we did with the states. Do not pick the same as someone else. If you do, you will receive a 0, okay? I was pretty lenient with a few people on the assignment we did for the states. That won't be happening here. So please write down your tribe that you're going to select in the comments after looking through the list and picking one for yourself. Make sure that no one else has it. Click Control plus F. It'll bring up the find bar, right? And this will pop up anywhere, not only just here, but on any website, and search to make sure no one has already selected what you want to use. But you're going to have 2 minutes. You're going to be professional. So that means your report is going to be on task. It's going to not use slang or bad language. You're going to use eye contact with the camera looking at the screen. So when you're talking, you're not looking over here and talking or talking to your friend who's behind you. Your focus is towards the camera and to me, who's going to be reviewing what you said. You're also going to be in a quiet setting. I don't want or need to hear a bunch of people in the background. It's only 2 minutes. Please, even if the house is a little loud, please politely ask everyone if they can quiet down for a few minutes to give you a chance to do a few takes and pick the one that you like the best. Also, make sure that I can hear you. I don't want you to make a video and everything's quiet and you go and you're talking. No, that's not okay, okay? So you have to use 3 sources, okay? They can be any websites except for Wikipedia. At the end of your end or the beginning, either one's fine. I want you to tell me this information, I got it from blah, 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 blah. Okay, let me put that in here, at least 3. At least 3. That way we know we need at least 3 different websites, at least 3 different sources. Now let's say that you have native blood and you have family members who are Cherokee and you want to talk to them. That is totally acceptable. If you have a family friend who's native, that is totally acceptable if you wanted to interview them and ask them questions. And I think it might be way more interesting. I know it'll be way more interesting than searching through the web. So if you know someone personally from one of the native tribes that are on the list below, please reach out to them. That can be a source. If you don't, then we're going to make sure that we go to at least 3 different websites. This will be due Friday, September 18th at noon. Not 12:05, not 1, at noon, this is due. Now here are the pieces that you need. 1, what is the original location of the tribe before Europeans came, before they made treaties with the new upstart country, America, before those were broken and they were resettled? Where is their original home? What's their landscape, climate, and vegetation? So can you describe where they live? In the summer and winter, is it hot or is it normally cold? Is it rainy? Is it snowy? So remember, weather is something that happens like daily, and that climate is going to be the trend. So don't pick something that happened once in a while. pick the consistent weather that you could find in that area. And then what kind of vegetation grows there? Tell me that, because it's important to know what kind of food they ate. And also the vegetation oftentimes was not only used for food, but also to help them build the structures that they lived in. Which leads us into the next part. Tell us about the housing and the structure that they lived in. How that they built their houses, and how were their villages organized? Were they living in standalone dwellings, or did they all live together in a communal setting? You need to tell me that. How did they adapt to their environment? What are their food, tools, clothing, etc.? So how do they take advantage of their environment that they're around? So do they hunt and get things from animals? Do they make tools out of the vegetation around them, out of rocks around them? What did they do to survive? And 5 is their culture. What's some of their home life? What was their home life like? What's some of their ceremonies? What's their roles, values, or religion? Okay, this is probably going to be pretty meaty piece of information for you. So definitely delve into this and really crack this part open, because I really feel like you can get a lot of great information when you're talking about the cultures of not just Native people, but about people in general from anywhere. That's when you really get the most insight into who they are and what they stand for. Okay, conflicts. Who are they fighting with before the Europeans arrived? Were they fighting with other tribes? Were they kind with other tribes? Maybe they didn't have issues with other tribes. You need to let me know that. How did the Europeans coming to America affect their tribe? Was their tribe forced to move? Was their tribe wiped out? Was their tribe assimilated? And that means like brought into the American way of life. Was that assimilation done by choice? Was it done by force? These are all things that you can tap into as you're making your verbal report. And then where are they now? So are they still around today as an organized group? So that means, do they have maybe a reservation? Do they have their own tribal lands? Do they have, if not their own tribal lands, do they have people who keep on the tradition? Do they have places where they meet up in groups to respect their tradition? So for example, this isn't about Native people. My wife is Japanese. And so there's a lot of places in America that have strong Japanese communities, and people will get together to try to hold on to the things about Japan and about being Japanese that they find unique and special. So if you can find stuff like that, you are free to add that into your report. Now you can click here to get a list of tribes. There's also a list of tribes here. One second. Okay, so you click on here, it's going to take you to a link, and it's going to give you some information about the tribe that you have selected. Okay, so make sure that you are not picking the same tribe as someone else. You can see there are a lot of options here. So everyone should be able to pick their own. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, we're gonna have way more than enough for you to pick your own. I'm just double checking because sometimes you're like, oh, this seems about right, but it's not. So measure twice, cut once. So make sure that you pick your tribe, check to make sure no one else has it, and then write it in the comments. Now here is your rubric. This is how I'm going to be grading it, okay? So number 5, contents and details. The report is well researched and contains relevant information and accurate details. And it's a sliding scale. So if you have all the relevant information, you get that 5, and it slowly goes down from there. Professionalism. Are you talking about the professionalism aspects that we brought up? Are you in a quiet location? Are you looking at the camera? Are you having a voice that is loud? Are you enunciating so that I can understand what you're saying? Do you have all the components? Do you give credit to the source where you got this information from? Okay, so as long as it's 2 minutes, you can get full credit. If it's less than that, I will deduct points for time. But I didn't put that here as a requirement because I assume if you're putting all 8 of those topics in there, that it's just by its very nature of all the things you're talking about, you're easily gonna clear that 2-minute hurdle. So good luck. Remember, this is going on through the entire week. So during history time, from now until Friday, this is what you will work on. And you will make sure that it's turned in by Friday at noon so I can start watching them and giving you feedback. The feedback, I'll probably just write it on the assignment on Google Classroom because they won't let me write feedback that much on Flipgrid. So I was asking for pictures and videos, and I don't know, I'm still learning it. So maybe it does, and if it does, then I'll write it directly there. But just be on the lookout for in both places to see where that information is going to pop up. But good luck. If you need any help, please come and join the afternoon Zoom at 1:10 to get your questions answered so that I can help you be as successful as possible. Thank you. Have a great day.